morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending from where you are connecting to us from. It's a pleasure having you guys here. And this is day 3 of our live market analysis session. I repeat, this is day 3 of our live market analysis session. How has trading been so far for you? If you are here live with us, comment in the section below. And if you're watching this on a replay, you could still put down your comment or question and so on. So this is day 3. Today is the 18th of July and it's a Thursday. So this simply means that the market is rounding up gradually. I repeat, this simply means that the market is rounding up gradually. So there are some certain things that we're going to be talking about today, right? Based on the market, based on the behavior, based on what we're expecting, that we want everybody to pay attention to. It's very key, right? That as you are here, you ask questions. Let's know your trading. Let's know what you are experiencing so far. If you are in a trade and a trade is struggling, let us know. Let's have a look at it. Let's diagnose it together and find out what could possibly be the problem. And the month is also gradually coming to an end. Wow. Before you know it, we're going to be in August, and then it will be in the Ember month. The Ember month signifies the end of the year. Before you know it, September, October, November, and December. The Ember month and the year is what? The year is over. This is a good time. I tell people it's not too early to start reflecting on trading this year so far. It's not too early to start reflecting on the money that you've made or didn't make this year. That before the end of the year, you know what you need to do and you start to make adjustments, right? So today being July 18th, Thursday, you have a look on the calendar. We're showing the calendar first of all, because this is very, very important. We should always have this as a morning ritual. I say morning because before you start looking at the market, before you start trading, when you wake up, based on whatever session or wherever you are in the world, when you wake up, right, it is paramount that you check the calendar. Find out what? Find out the high impact news that is coming out, the high impact news that is coming out for which currency and the time of the day that is going to be dropping. This should help you to know when the market is going to be volatile, and then you would know how to approach the market. This is very key, very, very important, right? So we've had most of the news come out already, or rather we've had all the news, high impact news that is, come out for today. And then by the time we cross over to the technicals, you will notice even more what the technicals is up to. Because you ask me for my personal opinion, this week the market is rather sluggish. We haven't had that, serious movement in the market, so to say, right? Or at least not the kind of movement that I would like that would give off enough pips, right? We made some small pips here and there. We're holding 1 or 2 trades like Euro USD and the Pounds USD, but it isn't giving enough. Well, I won't call that greed. I'll just say the market is a bit sluggish and the week is gradually rounding up, but let's see. So this is the news, the calendar for this week, and we just looked at for today, July 18th, and the fact that all the news have come out. So let's cross over to the charts. This is Euro USD, but it's customary that we start with the USD. We like to find out what the USD is doing. Here is a low over here. Let me put that there. It's customary that we find out what the market is doing, right? So that we know how to approach the market. So let me just clean up a bit of this. I really don't need them on my charts. I prefer the charts to be as clean as possible, right? So this is what we have on the DXY. And once again, you can see, just as we had here a few days ago, right, where we said here was support, support, support. We're expecting the market to get to this area here of untested resistance. You can see the support, untested resistance. And then here it broke out with the big candles, as you can see. And then now it has established another form of support, another floor here. So maybe it could get to this selling resistance. Let's see how this plays out. So it's either you want to trade with the trend, and if you want to trade with the trend is obviously a down one. So the first thing you're looking out for is selling, and the first area of interest is here where you like to sell. Another area is here, but for me, this looks a bit too far as of now, right? But let's see how price plays out, because when it comes to the business of trading, never underestimate what the market can do, right? The market is the market, price is price, and trust me, it could move in a volatile manner in the blink of an eye, right? So the question now, can price get to 104.07 over here, this untested resistance, or is price going to pull back to the support and maybe even break the support like we've seen over here and seen over here as well? Or is it going to bounce over here? It's always good when trading that you map out the chart. Map out the chart based on what you can see and even a bit of what you like to see, because it's always good for you to have your own bias. Whether you are a trend trader or a counter trend trader, it's always good for you to have your bias. Do you want to buy in this downtrend, or do you want to sell in this downtrend? The choice is yours. Most times we would say that it is safer to trade with the trend, that the trend is your friend. But at the end of the day, trading is trading. It's all about making money. If everybody were trading with the trend, then who will be trading against the trend? So you would always have people trading with the trend and trading against the trend. You just have to pick the one you prefer and then trade it aggressively, right? And if you are willing to trade the two, with the trend and against the trend, then you can as well do that. But then what you need to do, what you need to understand, what you need to put on your chart, what you need to map out are your areas of interest, your location, based on support and resistance, right? Support and resistance, and in some cases, it could even be supply and demand, right? So the area of interest is very important. So from the area of interest, which is A, we call the area of interest abbreviated with A. For the ART, ART, so the A in the ART, the ART, is known as the area of interest. R is known as the reaction. Price gets here, if price gets here, what kind of reaction are we going to get over here? That reaction will determine if we're going to enter here, or if price might as well break and use this as a launching pad to push higher. So the reaction at this area, support and resistance, supply and demand, are very important, right? So that is for the reaction. Now the T, what does the T stand for? The T stands for trigger. The T stands for trigger. What will be the trigger at that area of interest? After you've gotten the reaction that you're looking out for, what will now be the trigger? Now, these things that we're mentioning are the things that every trader should be able to follow. As a matter of fact, if you're watching this video live, right, or you're watching it on a replay, we are going to be dropping a video soon. We're going to be dropping a YouTube video soon, and it's going to be titled 7 Key Things to Consider Before Placing a Trade. I repeat, 7 key things to consider before placing a trade. it's very key, very important, very vital that we understand the flow of the market. We understand what to look out for in the market. And then we do what? We simply wait, patience. We exercise patience. And with this patience, trust me, when it does occur, you take it. And then for your psychology, in order to control your emotions, you make sure that your risk management is good to go. You are using the right volume, you're using the right lot size based on your account, meaning that you are not over leveraging, you're not placing trades with heavy losses that, if they do happen, could affect you negatively in terms of fear, in terms of you being afraid to place trades even further. Trade management. How do you manage trades? Very important. Your trade management is also what is going to save you. Don't forget, based on the risk management, as we always say, the risk to reward is very important. Make sure that your reward is by far greater than your risk. Make sure the reward is by far greater than your risk. And this is going to help you out at the end of the day. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Let's know any instrument that you are trading. And we are going to do something now. Apart from this DXY, we're going to cross over to the Euro USD. We're just going to be looking at the usuals. When I say the usuals, I mean the Euro USD, the GBP USD, gold, and Bitcoin. For a little while now, I have reduced my watch list, and I might even reduce it the more. Because the truth now about trading is that you don't need too many instruments. You don't need too many trades. You just need the right trades in trading. You need the right amount of profitable trades and you're good to go. It's even possible for you to have 3 winners. Listen to this carefully. It's possible for you to have just three winners in a month and you are good to go. Meaning that you are hitting your goals, whatever percentage ROI you're looking out for. Is it 5%? Is it 10%? 20%? Is it 100%? Whatever it is. It is very possible for you to hit your goals with just a few number of instruments, right? So looking at this here, let me do some markers here. Looking at this guy, the Euro USD, remember we said we're looking at the DXY, the USD going up. And if it's going up, that means that this Euro USD should be going down. You can see now it has more or less gotten to the area here of now support. So the question is it going to bounce from here? Or is it going to break, pull back, and then retest? It could as well break and then just drop, right? Either way. So you must know how to map out your charts based on what you are seeing. But this area 1.09 seems to be an area the price wants to test on the Euro USD. It seems to be an area that price wants to test on the Euro USD. Once it gets here, is it going to break and continue to drop further down? You can see we have some places like here as untested for support, untested for support. So is the price going to break and continue to go down? Or is it going to bounce from here? Only time will tell, right? And another thing, on the calendar, today being Thursday, on the calendar, if you have a look at it, there is no high impact news tomorrow, Friday, for the USD. I repeat, there's no high impact news tomorrow for the USD. Now, a few things could happen. Tomorrow could be really slow, right? Meaning that tomorrow for the Euro USD, you could have it move sideways like this, right? Or you could just move sideways diagonally, right? Sideways straight, sideways diagonally, or whatever the case might be, right? Because we don't have any high impact news. If you look at all these big candles, you will notice that most likely these were based on high impact news, right? So if you go back and check, This one was, I think this must have been on the 17th. This was yesterday. So yesterday, did we have any high impact news in the market? If we check the calendar, yesterday, Wednesday, okay, no, I think it was on Tuesday. That must have been Tuesday, sorry. So on Tuesday, it looked like we had high impact news. Then this one must have been 11th. This one must have been 11th of July. If we check the calendar, let's go back the last week, 11th. You can see 11th was CPI for the USD. So whenever you have massive candles like this, you just know that most likely there was high impact news involved somewhere. The news could even be breaking, or the news could be scheduled. Either way, the news could be scheduled, or the news could be breaking news. So based on this Euro USD, let's take a quick look at the Pound USD, the GBP USD, right? So for the GBP USD, have a look here. Okay, I think I need to clean off some of these things. I usually don't like having my fibs on the chart because it tends to make it a bit too colorful for me, and I prefer my charts looking as simple as possible. You can see the Pound USD, it's a slightly different story, right? It's still the same thing with the trend being up, and then of course prices dropping based on the USD appreciating. If you look here, resistance, you can see price seems to be breaking that support, because it's supposed to act as support here, right? So it seems price is breaking the support and now in the area of resistance. So that means that price could as well just reverse back here, and then this area should act as resistance and then drop further down, right? So this is also a possibility. I repeat, this here is a massive possibility. And then we'll see 1.2950 soon enough, and maybe even a further drop. Who knows? Only time will tell. But then don't forget, there isn't any more high impact news today or tomorrow for the USD. So the market might as well be a bit sluggish, right? So prepare your mind for that. And usually Fridays is known as profit taking. It's a profit taking day where traders that have been able to milk the market from Monday, Tuesday, decide to close out their winning positions on Friday, probably to make a withdrawal and then, do some spending, for the weekend and all, right? Or some traders like myself that don't like to hold trades over the weekend, right? I've stopped holding trades over the weekend a long time ago. Who knows, anything could happen tomorrow. But I'm not a big fan of gaps. I'm not a big fan of gaps, and I'm not a big fan of gaps. I know I mentioned that 3 times. Well, gaps is something that happened, I think, last week, if I'm not mistaken. And I saw in a couple of places, good traders saying that they lost their account simply because of gap. You don't have any control over gap. Gap is something that when it occurs, especially if it occurs for your stop loss. Let me explain gap in this way, right? Let's assume the market is moving in this manner, and on Friday, it closes over here, right? While your stop loss is here, right? The next thing, when it opens on Sunday open, it now opens with a gap somewhere here. That means that from where your stop loss is to where it opened on Sunday, the trade is not going to close over here, right? It's going to close over here. What does that mean? That means automatically you have lost more. Simple. Automatically you have lost more. And the opposite also happens. When the market is moving down in your favor, let's assume your take profit is over here, and the market closes on Friday over here. And then the market opens on Sunday, and then opens with a gap up to here. Your trade will not close here, it will close here. What does this one mean? This means that you will make more profit at the end of the day. Now, this is something that has happened and will still happen to traders. But when it happens, something unique happens, something the trader does. The trader wouldn't say anything. The trader would think it's a mistake and want to just, don't tell anybody, and then pockets the money, thinking that the broker doesn't know what he is doing or she is doing, right? But the truth now is that that is a normal thing with respect to gap. It is only when traders have this kind of losses, right? When it skips the stop loss and closes somewhere else, that they complain. But then when it was the part of the profit, they were not complaining. So you see what I mean? These are things that happen. These are things that traders are going through. But you need to understand the market as a whole. You need to understand the market structure. And then it's going to help you at the end of the day. It's going to help you at the end of the day to know how to approach your charts. This gap we're talking about, it can also happen not just when the market closes for Friday, it could also happen during high impact news. You could have it, and even slippage could also occur. Slippage could occur where you have a pending order. You have a pending order here. Maybe you have a buy pending order. You want to do a buy limit as an example, where you're expecting the market to come back and then pick you up over here. The market will be coming down, and based on the high impact news, because of how fast it moves, right? It could move so fast, volatility that is during the high impact news period, moves so fast to the point where it just does this and then maybe picks you up here. Instead of picking you up here, it could pick you up here, and that is slippage. And then before you know it, you're already at a massive drawdown, and maybe your stop loss is over here, and you could even get knocked out very fast as well. I've seen things like this happen a lot, even to me personally. And that's why we always say at the very beginning, check the news calendar. It's only when you have lost money or when you have crashed accounts and you hear some things like this that it will sink even more, that you resonate with and you do what you would abide by, because you understand, because you have witnessed it, because you have been on that losing side, and it was rather painful. Those losses are usually painful, obviously, and that's why your psychology must always be in check. Let's quickly take a quick look at the shiny metal, at the gold, the precious metal. This is gold over here, similar story. Here to test here, and then we could also get here, even though it came back and tested here. But look at what we have. Here was a form of resistance and then double top, and then it's in the middle. It's struggling somewhere in the middle. And as struggling in the middle, what are we expecting? The next thing that we might have is what? Next thing that we might have is price dropping. We might have price falling further. And if that is the case, right, where would the price now be going to? That is now the next question. If price is going to drop from here, where would the price be going to? That question, the answer to the question, right, has to do with location. And the location we're talking about, you would always observe what? You would always observe your areas of interest on the chart. Just like we have done some mappings here, resistance, resistance, here should be what? Here should be support. That means that if the market is going to drop here, if the market is going to drop from here, right, this is where we should be going to. I repeat, that is where we should be going to. If the market is going to drop from here, and that is where we should be going to. So always good to understand what? Always good to understand your area of interest, your location. I also call them bus stops, because that is where we're expecting the price to get to and most likely stop. Bus stops. So if you understand your bus stops in terms of support, resistance, supply, demand, and so on, then it's going to be a thing of wait for price at that bus stop. Simple. So this is for gold over here. Guys, we're going to be rounding up within a few minutes. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. We're going to be rounding up within a few minutes. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask, right? Analysis is very important. Before you can make money, you need to be able to analyze the trade, analyze the market, and of course, it will start to work for you accordingly. So in a few minutes, we're going to round up. But before we do that, let's take a quick look at the Bitcoin, the BTC USD, BTC USD, BTC USD. Beautiful. Quick one. Some, from looking at it, some could even call it like a head and shoulders pattern. A sort of head and shoulders pattern where this is like the left shoulder, more or less. This is the head, and then this is the right shoulder. So based on this Bitcoin, where it is, this right shoulder, which happens to be a resistance, we should be expecting the market to break further down. And if you are one that uses trend line, you could have a trend line move in this manner. My hand might not be that straight, but you might probably understand what I'm doing. You could have a trend line move in this manner, and then they say if it breaks the neckline or something here, price breakout, could even pull back here and then drop further down. So here is a valid area for price to drop to, and maybe even further down. Here you can see this would even be a very nice place because there's plenty of room for it to drop. Plenty of room equals to plenty of profit. So where price is at the moment is a good place to jump into the market on the Bitcoin. Guys, as we have just said that, please note that if you're going to take this trade, that you must ensure, I repeat, you must ensure that your risk is good to go, and then you are willing to accept the outcome. If it's a loss, because price could still push higher to this area that we call the head. If it's a loss, you accept it, right? And I told traders, for you to have your emotions still in check, your risk management must also be in check. Your volume, your lot size must be in check. With respect to what? With respect to you using the proper percentage based on your account balance. You can't have an account balance of $100 and you want to use one standard lot size to place a trade. With one standard lot size, just 10 trades, only 10 trades, what happens? That $100 has gone. I used to be guilty of that. Because when I found an account to test with $100, the default MT4 lot size used to be 1, but I never understood what 1 meant. I thought, hey, it is 1. 1 is small. Let's make use of 1. But then after a few fast crashed accounts, it dawned on me that 1 is heavy. And we said to make adjustments. And that's what we're saying to you guys now, that you have the opportunity to be better traders than us. Okay, we have somebody asking for NZD card. Okay, let's quickly dive into NZD card before we call it a day, because we are rounding up now. NZD card, New Zealand dollars, Canadian dollars. Okay, so this is the NZD card. Okay, I think we must have done something earlier. If I remember correctly, we did something earlier. If I remember correctly, where we said price should bounce from here, and we mapped out this area here as support, and you can see price bounce from there as well. But now, all of this has shifted, so we're going to have to make some adjustments. Let me clean up this first of all. That has been a long time ago. NZD card, I really don't like NZD card because it is not as clean when it comes to its movement. I repeat, it's not as clean when it comes to its movement, but this is what we're going to do, right? I'm going to show you to the best of what I am seeing over here. I can see something here like this. Here. I can obviously see something here as well. Right? So these areas that we're seeing are areas of support and resistance. They're not that clean though. They're not that clean. I can see all the reaction here as well. But look at it. Here happens to be a form of support. This was not that clean, but it still acted as resistance. And now I'll tell you that price is in the middle of nowhere. Here it's supposed to be resistance. Here is supposed to be support. So for me, it's in the middle of the resistance and support. I personally wouldn't do anything. If you're looking to sell, here is the place. If you're looking to buy, here is the place, right? So resistance here, support here. It's in the middle of nowhere. You wait for it to get to either of the places, and then you trade. But then don't forget, you must have your bias. First of all, the chart that you have in front of you, is it an uptrend or a downtrend? I'm not really liking this too much. I could roughly say it's a downtrend, But for me, this chart is not as clean as the likes of Euro USD, Pound USD, and so on. Probably that's why I don't look at this. We have hundreds of, let me even say thousands of instruments based on Forex, based on cryptos, based on stocks, and so on, right? Try and look for the one that gives you clean enough PA, right? First of all, let me ask this question before I round up because I'm rounding up within the next 30 seconds. Are you in this trade? Did you take this trade? Are you having issues with this trade or you're interested in taking the trade? Hopefully I get an answer fast, because what I want to say is you could send this chat to the Telegram community. I believe you should be on the Telegram community. Send this chat to the Telegram community and I'll look at it there, and I'll probably do you a chat or give you advice if you are in the trade, how the trade is going for you. We'll look at it together. Or if you're thinking of the trade, I'll just show you where to sell and where to buy on this particular chart. So it's now up to you to decide what exactly you want to do, right? So let me know if you're in the trade or if you're not in the trade. And as we're rounding up now, I want to say thank you, guys. Tomorrow is Friday. We don't have any live market analysis session. Okay, you said you want to take it. Okay, you know what you can also do? Let me see your chart, because most times everybody's seeing my own chart, but let me see your own chart. From looking at your charts, I'll have a better understanding of how you mapped out your charts, your levels, even if it's indicators you're using. Don't worry. Just send me your chart as it is. Drop it in the Telegram community, and I'll have a look at it, and I'll give you my feedback. That is something I can do for everybody. So send your chart on the Telegram community. I'll take a look, and then we'll talk about it even more. Okay? So now we are calling it a day. I want to say thank you for those that joined us live, for those that watched this on a replay. We hope that it has been helpful in the knowledge that we have shared with you. We hope that you have learned at least one thing, not just today, but maybe this week, right? So thank you guys for tuning in, right? I wish you guys best of luck in your trading in the rest of the week. The week is more or less over, right? But then we'll still meet up in the Telegram community. We'll still have some more sessions. Next week, we're thinking of doing something different. So I'll let you guys know. Next week, we're thinking of doing something different. We'll let you guys know. So you can also join that and so on. And if you need further assistance, let us know. If you need as a form of mentorship, coaching, let us know. We have a course as well. For now, the course is free, but by the month of August, it's going to be monetized. There's going to be a small token to pay for that course and other things as well, right? We will be relating with everyone. Okay, thank you and goodbye for now. Cheers.